Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video and from the visual, I will be giving my commentary on the most recent Messy Monday show starring Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly gave some interesting opinions regarding the show and Melody Cherie in particular. As you can see from the title, she pretty much says, Melody doesn't really F with the cast because of their support of Martell's shenanigans. And she is convinced that the cast has pretty much forgiven Martell and has gotten over all of the bull. So now there's a lot to comb through. So we're definitely going to get through it all. But first, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing the various topics that come about Love and Marriage Huntsville, because Love and Marriage Huntsville is so layered with such a large cast at this point who have all sorts of things going on that there's all sorts of topics that you can pull from the show. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would love to have you as one of the showstoppers. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed for criticism. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'm going to play a soundbite where Dr. Heavenly is giving her opinion on whether or not people who are separated, so you're legally married but separated, if you should date other people. And Carlos King, poor guy, he was in his bathroom to try and get better Wi-Fi reception. So he was cutting out, but Dr. Heavenly was able to make the most of what he was asking. So she was able to still answer his questions. So not really a big deal. And definitely the chat was popping. I saw all sorts of bloggers in the chat. Shout out to them all. And definitely, people were sounding off in the live chat. And of course, now Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly, they pre-record their Messy Monday show, but they premiere it so that people can chat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this soundbite, and then I will come back with my commentary.
Yeah, you are a relationship expert. If two people are married and they're going through conflict, separation, or potential separation, it's okay to start talking to the opposite. I say, this is me now. No, because if I'm in separation and I'm not divorced yet, for me, and this is how I see my relationship, I'm still trying to get back with my freaking man. I'm not done. You know what I'm saying? So for me, no. For other people, I don't know. My whole thing is like, why we can't wait? Why we can't do like Tyler Perry and say close one door before we open another one? My opinion is, for me, and I would wait until that door was closed, and probably wait a couple of years working on myself before I moved on to another relationship. That's just me, but I don't know. I've never been in that position before, so I don't know. But no, I think that if you married, you married. That's me, and I said this before. I ain't changed my mind. So when you're married until you're officially divorced. That's me. That's me. Based on what I think in my relationship. If I'm separated and I have not even put forth the effort to get a divorce, you know what I'm saying? Now the papers is signed, I don't know. But my whole thing is from Ken and Trisha. To me, my understanding of it was they had not moved forward with a divorce. When you don't move forward with a divorce, in my mind, I'm thinking somebody might be still trying. Yeah, still has to. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Because look at this, and let me tell you this. I'm not gonna give away anything, but men are very territorial, right? They can bring the new bitch around and and the women kind of could do better taking it. But when the woman bring her new man around, it's difficult on all sides, whether you're married, divorced, or separated. Even if you're divorced, these people do not want to see you with somebody else in the same friendship group, in the same community in the same city.
Dr. Heavenly has always shared that sentiment about men, what she said at the end. If you were moving on and the relationship is over, a man, although he has moved on, he would not want to see you with someone else. And then she tailored it too into this same group. Dr. Heavenly has always stated that although a lot of men cheat, if they were cheated on, she said that they cannot take it. The relationship is over. She said that men are way more sensitive when it comes to romantic relationships than women. What do you think about that? Do you agree? What I will say is that I don't agree with Dr. Heavenly about if you are separated but still legally married, you should not date. And then she went on to say, even after the relationship was over, she would wait a couple of years before she starts dating. I find those expectations to be very rigid and strict. And I just don't see the average person, I don't see a lot of people waiting so long before trying out companionship again. I think that it's very common for some people while separated to date. And I'll say at the same time, that's when you run into people who have been separated for like 15 years. I remember working with this lady. I thought she looked like Shaka Khan, but she said that she and her husband, they have been separated for like 15 years or something. I'm like, what in the world? I think that's bizarre. I think that's strange. But if you are separated and maybe people aren't ready to sign those papers, will they seek out some companionship, someone that they can talk to about their day, about their thoughts, and feel a little desired, have someone compliment them? Absolutely. I think that that is quite normal. I'm glad that Dr. Heavenly acknowledged the fact that she has never been in the position to be separated from her spouse and has not been in the position to where she could possibly have the opportunity to have some companionship while being separated from a spouse. At least she acknowledged that that is strictly her opinion, not based on experience. But I think that it's quite normal, especially when it's not physical, when it is just like an emotional connection that you want with someone, and you want them to be a sounding board, a listening ear without judgment. Now, Dr. Heavenly may say to that, well, shoot, go get you a therapist. But there's a therapist, and then there's like someone where it feels like a friendship and you two just have that connection. That feels good. I know for me, like I can have my intellectual and emotional needs met, and that goes a long way. So I imagine if you are legally married but separated and you're trying to figure things out, what do you want to do? How does this impact the entire household, your finances, your state of mind? You still have those moments where you want to have good conversation with someone. So yeah, and you're separated. I think that that is quite normal. But let's move on. This next soundbite is going to be lengthy. I may pause it just to give commentary along the way. I have nicknamed this soundbite the good guy debate. Okay, so Carlos King is going to ask the question about the very last scene of the most recent episode, episode 13 of this current season of Love and Marriage Huntsville, between Melody Cherie and Sonny Meeks. So I'm just going to go ahead and start playing the soundbite, and then I will come back with my commentary.
One of the most talked about things of Saturday's episode, Dr. Heavenly, was this Melody scene with Sonny. And a lot of people had a lot of strong reactions to this scene. It's like 50-50 split, and I would love to get your point of view. You're a Scorpio, and you are a relationship expert as well. So, what we just talked about happened at Kimmy's and Maurice's tasting, right? So, that conversation followed where, so Melody is having a girls' trip, and she invited all the girls. She told Tisha you could bring a +1. Tisha bringing Destiny. Cool. Melody is going swimsuit shopping with Sonny. and she invited Sonny on the girls' trip. She told Sonny what the girls were saying about her at the dinner. Because Sonny was like, oh, me and Kimmy, we cool. She said, well, Kimmy had this to say about these ladies feel some kind of way that you are around their men, considering what you did to Destiny. And then Melody was saying how she found it ironic that when she was going through her situation, these ladies did not have the same energy for her the way they're having it for Destiny. She said, I will be over houses. My house is cooking. We will travel together. We will hang out. Kimmy called Martell the good guy. You know, so she's like, a lot of hypocrisy. Again, these are my words I'm using. She felt a lot of hypocrisy based on Kimmy and Tisha going so strong for Destiny, and she felt that they did not give Melody the same energy when she was going through the same stuff with Martell, so much so that her ex-girlfriend, Destiny, is still hanging out with her ex-husband.
Okay, what this is my question, because I don't know the answer to this. Is that true? Is it that when all this Martell and Melody stuff went down, were they not against Martell and what he did and told him it was wrong and was down and right? No? Or were they saying he was a good guy during the time? That's what I'm asking you. Because I feel like it was during the time, but I think that I'm a Scorpio. I get it. I love Mel. And I'm going to tell that 1,000 times. And I would feel the same way Mel does. I'm never going to forget this shit. It's never going to be over, right? But I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I feel like they were mad at Martell for what the fuck he did, but I think they finished being mad. They not mad no more. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe Melody, of course, she always going to be, because I would be too. But they finished being mad. They like, hey, you know what? We all in this together. Martell has moved on. She's moved on. You know, we all make mistakes, and it was a big one. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but they moved on. Weren't they hard on Martell when he was doing wrong? Because there was no way. I know I was. I know I was in Martell's ear. I was on my blogs. I was like, but I think there's a time when people get finished being mad.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you everything that happened on the show. I want to keep it on the show because obviously I'm not with these people 24/7. When Melody and Martell were going through this situation, okay, I'm gonna go back to what Melody said in the flashbacks, and I'm gonna tell you what was happening on camera. I want to make that disclaimer, okay? When Melody talked about Kimmy calling Martell the good guy, we flash back to those two scenes. Those two scenes were during the time Martell was exposed as having another woman that he was seeing, okay? And that, like, the second flashback, okay, Melody revealed to Kimmy, like, it's not great, he has a baby, pretty much, right? And Melody jumped like, so the good guy, right? And Kimmy said, well, I'm not gonna regret calling him the good guy because that's how I felt at the time, right? So when the ladies found out that Martell had an outside baby, because this is the history. Before we started filming the show, they knew Martell cheated on Melody with this lady. They knew that before we were filming. Okay? So I don't know what happened prior to filming.
But Melody knew that too, correct? Melody knew that too, right? He was cheating because she said he was cheating for 5 years, so she knew too, right?
Before love and marriage became a role, everybody with this woman, okay? They all knew that. Okay, before the show. So I can't tell you what happened before we were filming. Now, I want to fast forward to when he got the woman pregnant, okay? Because that is the time when Melody had that conversation with Kimmy that we flash back to, and when Melody told Tisha that it was true that they're divorcing and that Martell has a baby on the way with this woman, Tisha was devastated and was like, wow, I heard the rumors, I didn't know it was true. Now, there is not where Tisha, there isn't a scene, okay? Again, I don't know what happened before or whatever. It's not a scene. We never filmed it. We were here. Never been anything filmed where they confronted Martell and pretty much said what you said, like, I'm disappointed. So I'm only answering your question, of course, but no, they did not confront him about it in the way that I'm assuming Melody is saying she wanted, the way they're giving it to Destiny.
Well, I'm gonna say this. If and my understanding of this is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, they were Martell's friends first, so they knew he was a hoe when they met him, probably before they met Melody, correct? They were Martell's friends first. That's what they did, right?
Okay. The ladies, the husbands were always friends since college, right? So the ladies met proxy of their husbands being friends. Okay?
They met both of them at the same time.
Tisha and Melody met first because Maurice already in the situation. So Tisha and Melody were friends first, and then Kimmy came in the picture. But they were friends because their husbands were friends. You know how that goes.
I'm gonna say this, and this is what I always said again. Those people are not Melody's friends, and Melody is not their friends. They all in the same circle, but they don't like each other. Because there's no way in hell that if my husband stepped out and had a freaking baby, that these people wouldn't be down in this man at that time. Now, mind you, I'm saying years have passed. Like, the baby like 2 or 3 now, right? So maybe people forgive and say, hey, he made a mistake, they moved on or whatever. Now they like, okay. But if during that time they weren't on Melody's side when all that went down, and maybe I'm missing something because I don't, as far as what I know, I feel like if you weren't on Melody's side and understood her pain and what she went through, then you just weren't her freaking friend. That's what I think.
The reason why it was such a debate on social media, you had half of the people saying, yes, Melody, I'm with you, bitch. That's right. They going more hard for Destiny than for you.
Okay, so they talked about that last scene between Melody Cherie and Sonny, and Dr. Heavenly was giving the hypothetical scenario that perhaps the cast were really annoyed with Martell when they learned about the affair, how he continued with the affair and impregnated the mistress. And she goes, and now they're over it. They are over it. But that's not really the point. The point is that when Melody was in the thick of it, in the thick of the pain and the betrayal, and Ninja, you have a nerve to have a baby on the way. Back then he was a good guy, according to Kimmy. And there was like hardly any smoke for the mistress and Martell. But now they are rallying behind Destiny, and they have all this smoke for Sonny and Moses, and really aiming it all mostly towards Sonny, and so it's just so ridiculous and so hypocritical. And that's why I'm so glad that production did the flashbacks. And, that's why Carlos was definitely bringing it up. He wanted to be clear that the recap that he gave Dr. Heavenly was everything that aired on camera. That really stood out to me because, they've made so light of the revenge P, and that obviously when he threatened her with that was off camera because that was a text message. Hence the harassing communication component. You combine that with the DV, and voila, you have the revenge P. If you Google like Alabama state law revenge P, those two components together represent, the revenge P charge. But in any event, he wanted to be clear that everything that he was saying to her was what was on camera, because he knows that a lot more bull has happened off camera, a lot more stalking and, just disturbing behavior. But Dr. Heavenly, she was trying to come up with any excuse that she could. It was, well, I think that they were hard on him, but then they got over it. Then she even says, well, weren't they his friends first? So they knew that he was a 304. Dr. Heavenly, what difference does that make? Even if he was this bona fide born 304, he still chose to get married. He still chose to take vows and promise God to take care of his wife. He still betrayed those vows. He still disrespected his wife in their marriage. It doesn't matter if the cast knew him first and knew that he was a 304. What is it, y'all, about Martell Holt where people are so quick to make so many excuses for him? It is really strange. It's like they know he's slow or something. And in this case, per Dr. Heavenly, it's like they know he's a 304, but they excuse it. Chris Fletcher, during that sit down scene at the Sage Lounge, Maurice and Kimmy's new spot, he was talking about Sonny and Moses. But when Crystal Jordan interviewed you and Nell, you told Crystal, the blogger, oh, well, he's just Martell. That's just Martell being Martell. Excuse me. But then you all want to hold Sonny and Moses' feet to the fire over falling in love after he and Destiny's relationship was pretty much over. Did he formally break up with her? It sounds like no. And he's even admitted that to Dustin Ross. He could have been more direct and letting her know that the relationship was over. But there's just always so many excuses for Martell. And Dr. Heavenly, she's doing it right now. I don't know what it is, but I made a video over the weekend about making excuses for straight Black men in our community. It is like just like a bad cold that everyone is just spreading to each other. I ain't got it. I ain't got that cold where I make excuses for the no good men, the no good straight men in our community. No, that's not me. But definitely, Dr. Heavenly was trying to pull as many excuses out of her hat that she could to explain. And then she even went on to say that Melody should just leave the show. And Carlos King, I guess he ain't a fool because he said, no, we love Melody Cherie on the show. The cast loves her. He even said the cast loves her. And yeah, because Carlos knows that Melody Cherie Rogers is Love and Marriage Huntsville. As so many of you stated in the chat, without Melody, there is no show. And Carlos King knows that because he did not want Melody. He doesn't want Melody leaving the show. And so when Dr. Heavenly was trying to say that, he was like, no, we want her on the show because Love and Marriage Huntsville is his bread and butter. Even with lower ratings, it still brings in the most ratings compared to the other franchises, Love and Marriage DC and Love and Marriage Detroit. So he does not want this show to end. Hence, he does not want Melody leaving the show. But what do you all think? Do you think that, the cast has pretty much forgiven Martell? I don't think they ever considered what he did to be a transgression to begin with. So there was no forgiveness that had to be done. That action was never taken place, So do you also think that, because Dr. Heavenly, she said, I feel like Melody doesn't like this cast because they F with Martell. I think that it's much deeper than that. I think that it's a culmination of all of the bull that has been done over the years. It's not just the excusing of Martell. It is, Tisha and her comments and the dark soul and just the covering for him. I think that it's a lot of things that have taken place. They should probably even, like on a professional level, like there needs to be some sort of counseling session or counseling sessions, because they've done so much. But in any event, I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button as it is a free way of supporting the channel. I hope that you all had a fantastic Monday. I hope it was not a manic Monday. I hope it was a magnificent Monday. I cannot complain. It was a good Monday. After work, I logged out. I put on my sweats and sneakers and I went out for a walk. And then I made myself go to the gym. And so I did the elliptical after walking outside and then I lifted some weights, for the upper body. Then I came home and Messy Monday, the show had already started. It was probably like 20, 30 minutes in. And so I just rewound and created this content. So I hope that you all have a terrific Tuesday. Remember to position yourself for a smooth morning so you don't have to rush, whether that's making your lunch tonight or your overnight oats. If you have that for breakfast, lay out your clothes for tomorrow. Don't forget to set your alarm. Try not to snooze so you don't have to rush in the morning. And say your prayers if that's what you do, or journal your thoughts. Make that to-do list. You'll feel good as you check things off. Whatever you have to do tomorrow, and of course, be safe. And I will talk with you all soon. Will you be watching the Democratic National Convention? I saw a little bit of it at the gym, like Maxine Waters. They showed like video of her. So that's definitely something to consider checking out as well. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.